All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on an invisible force that can cause some serious chaos in our high-tech world. I'm talking about electrostatic discharge. Now, you've definitely experienced it, but you probably don't realize just how much damage it can do. You know that feeling, right? You're walking across a carpet, you reach for a metal doorknob, and zap! You get that little shock. We've all been there. But what if that tiny spark wasn't just a minor annoyance? What if it had some real destructive power?
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. For super-sensitive electronics, that little shock you barely even notice, it's like a full-on catastrophic event. Think of it as a miniature lightning bolt that has the power to just completely obliterate those tiny, delicate components.
So let's put an official name to it. Electrostatic discharge, or ESD for short. All it is, really, is a sudden, uncontrolled flow of static electricity from one object to another. A pretty simple idea, right? But one with some incredibly damaging potential. Okay, so just how dangerous is this invisible threat, really? Let's dive into why ESD is such a huge concern for so many different industries. So get this, it takes about 3,000 volts of static electricity for you to even feel that little zap from a doorknob. 3,000! But here's the kicker. A charge as small as 10 volts, a charge you would never, ever notice, can completely fry the sensitive parts of a modern hard drive, making it totally useless.
And this isn't some rare niche problem. The risk of ESD is everywhere, across a whole range of really important environments. We're talking anywhere sensitive electronics are made or tested or used. From building satellites to putting together our smartphones, ESD is a constant, serious threat.
So the bottom line is pretty clear. When ESD goes unchecked, the consequences are bad. We're talking about ruined equipment, products that are compromised and fail when you least expect it, and even some pretty serious safety hazards. It's like this silent saboteur, messing with both quality and productivity. But here's the good news. This is a totally solvable problem. There isn't a single magic fix, though. It's more of a systematic, multi-layered defense. So let's break down the 4 key layers of protection. These 4 strategies all work together to create a really powerful defense. It's kind of like building a fortress against static. You start with a person, and then you build outwards to protect the entire workspace. Okay, so it all begins with what you're wearing. Believe it or not, your everyday clothes, like cotton or wool, can basically act like static-generating machines. ESD smocks, on the other hand, are made with special conductive fibers that create a sort of Faraday cage around your body, trapping any static you build up and keeping it from getting out. Next up, we protect the things we touch. I mean, if you're handling a delicate circuit board, you absolutely have to stop any charge from jumping from your hand to that component. That's where ESD-safe gloves come in. They're made with materials that dissipate static, and they're designed to be that final, crucial barrier. Now, the third layer is all about controlling the air itself. See, dry air is static's absolute best friend. So by keeping the humidity at a moderate level, usually somewhere between 40 and 60%, a super thin layer of moisture actually coats every surface, and that helps to naturally drain away static charges. It just dramatically lowers the overall risk. And that brings us to the 4th and, you could argue, the most important layer of them all, the literal foundation of any good static control program. You know the saying, any successful operation relies on a strong foundation. And it's so true here. You can have all the other protections in place, but if your foundation isn't solid, the whole system just falls apart. And that foundation? It's industrial ESD flooring. This stuff is made with conductive materials that give any static charge, whether it's on a person, a piece of equipment, a cart, you name it, a safe, reliable path to travel down to the building's earth ground. This is absolutely essential in places where people are moving around because it means they're always protected without having to be attached to a wrist strap. So let's wrap this all up. What's the #1 thing to remember when it comes to fighting back against electrostatic discharge? It's this. There is no single silver bullet. Real, effective ESD protection is a complete system. It's all about how the smocks and the gloves and the humidity and the flooring all work together in concert to create a genuinely safe environment. Each layer just makes the others stronger. And when you have that full system working, the benefits are huge, and they're obvious. You're not just stopping a few random sparks. You're actively cutting down on downtime. You're protecting huge investments in equipment. You're making sure your products are reliable, and you're creating a safer, more confident place for people to work.
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? ESD is this powerful, invisible force that we figured out how to manage. And that leads to one last question. What other invisible forces are out there, quietly shaping the technology and the world we depend on every single day?